This is the Yay or Nay Show with Alex C. A sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. And now, here is Alex C.
Here we go. It is the Yay or Nay Show with Alex C., a sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Yay or Nay Podcast. The official pages again at Yay or Nay Podcast, the official Twitter and Facebook page addresses. Meanwhile, we got a couple of things to get to today. Let's start with this. So yesterday, NFL-wise, we started off with, an interesting type of take in regards to all of the moves that were made in the NFL. We started off with what was the best bargain signing of the free agency. Today, I want to talk a little bit about what was the most head-scratching signing of free agency. Now, NFL analyst Bell says wide receiver Christian Kirk to the Jaguars because living up to a contract that will be widely scrutinized is a tough ask for any athlete. Some will shine under the spotlight while others will struggle. We will have to wait and see which it will be for Kirk, who at age 25 has his best years ahead of him. But does he merit up to the $84 million 4-year contract? Kirk has missed multiple games in 3 of 4 seasons, and perhaps more importantly, has never been asked to assume the role of an elite receiver. The Jags were largely dependent on a shorter yardage completion scenario last season, which could bode well for Kirk's slot receiver skills. But it's worth noting, though, that over the past 3 seasons, he ranks 42nd of 55 qualified receivers in yards after the catch per reception. This is pricey for a player who might not be the perfect fit, especially at roughly 175% the annual cost of what DJ Chark Jr. signed for in Detroit. NFL analyst Bowen says quarterback Mitch Trubisky to the Steelers. Now, in Matt Canada's offense, the Steelers can set up Trubisky with defined throws, off movement, and play action. I still have concerns about Trubisky's ability as a pocket thrower in critical game situations, though. That's the mechanics and the eyes. Let's see if Pittsburgh drafts a rookie quarterback to compete with him next month, because as you know, there's a lot of rumors. I'm not going to get into that now, but there's a lot of rumors about Pittsburgh. They possibly could be courting one of the quarterbacks that's going to be coming out in the draft. NFL analyst Clay says tight end Will Dissly to the Seahawks is a head scratcher. Now, Seattle acquired the 24-year-old standout tight end Noah Fant in the Russell Wilson trade and then proceeded to sign backup Dissly to a 3-year, $24 million contract. Now, that makes him one of the position's top 15 highest paid players. It's a big commitment to a player who missed most of his first 2 pro seasons due to injury. 10 games played during the 2018-19 campaign, and who doesn't offer much as a pass catcher. 46 receptions for 483 yards and 3 touchdowns during the 2020-21 campaign. Now, NFL analyst Cockcroft, I think I said that correctly, is also banging on the deals with wide receiver Christian Kirk and the Jaguars. NFL analyst Fowler is also banging on Will Dissly to the Seahawks. Graziano is now chirping about the quarterback Russell Wilson being traded by the Seahawks. Now, I get why they did it, he says. They looked a year down the road and anticipated a frustrating contract negotiation, and I like the return they got. But all we heard last offseason was that the Seahawks wouldn't make this move without knowing where they were turning to next at quarterback. And it doesn't appear they do. They didn't get involved in the Deshaun Watson trade, which is fine, good for them. But right now, it's Drew Lock and maybe a draft pick, or maybe a Baker Mayfield thrown into the mix at some point. With a 70-year-old coach and a fan base used to contending every year, it seemed odd for Seattle to jump off the high dive into the deep end the way they did. NFL analyst Moody is saying defensive end Randy Gregory to the Broncos is questionable. Now, Denver is paying him like a top-level pass rusher. Despite his talent, though, Gregory is an inconsistent edge rusher with durability issues. He has never played a full season in his career. While defense is definitely an area where the Broncos need to improve, there are better ways to do so. NFL analyst Miller also bagging on the wide receiver Christian Kirk to the Jaguars move. NFL analyst Reed also bashing on the wide receiver Christian Kirk to the Jaguars move. I think it's a general consensus that Christian Kirk going to the Jaguars was not something that people should have been looking to do. NFL analyst Seifert says quarterback Deshaun Watson to the Browns. Now, I understand why any team who would be looking for a quarterback would want Watson playing quarterback for them. His past performance and production speaks for itself. But ultimately, the Browns were lured into bidding for the right to quarterback, who still has 22 lawsuits against him alleging sexual assault and inappropriate conduct. The team's eagerness to give up 5 draft picks, including 3 in the first round, and $230 million fully guaranteed was a disquieting revelation that will reflect poorly on the franchise for a very long time. NFL analyst Tannenbaum also bashing on the wide receiver Christian Kirk to the Jaguars move. NFL analyst Walder is talking about linebacker, how do I say this correctly, Foyesade Olcon to the Jaguars. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars severely overpaid at a non-premium position as he got $28 million fully guaranteed. Olcon is fine, but there is nothing in the metrics that I'm seeing, whether it's run stop win rate, pass rush win rate, nearest defender coverage data, or Pro Football Focus grade that suggests he is a high-end off-ball linebacker. Meanwhile, other defenders such as Carlton Davis and Hassan Reddick received comparable guarantees despite being better players at more important positions. Here's one. NFL analyst Yates is bashing on running back James Conner back to the Cardinals. Now, I'm thrilled for Conner, who just kept finding the end zone last season and emerged as a leader for the Cardinals. The part that I'm more skeptical of is the money involved, as Conner's deal makes him the 10th highest paid back in the league. That felt like a premium for a player who finished 27th in the league in rushing yards and 43rd in yards per carry. So there you go. This is what the NFL analysts call the deals that kind of were head scratchers, and they question whether these deals should in fact ever have been made. I have to tend to agree. I pretty much think that was spot on. Staying with the NFL, Trey Lance. We always hear the reports. Have they found a place or a home for Jimmy Garoppolo? Are they ever going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo? Why are they allegedly sitting on an offer with second-round picks and not moving off of Garoppolo if Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback? And I can go on with scenario after scenario after scenario in regards to the whole Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo. Last season, I was adamant about they were not going to trade Jimmy G. They were going to keep Jimmy G. I was adamant about it, and I stayed that way all the way till the end of the season. After the season ended and the playoffs were over, I then said, well, it sounds like they're a little more serious about getting rid of Jimmy G. So maybe it is going to happen after all, even though I thought it would be a bad idea. In my opinion, Trey Lance is not ready. Jimmy Garoppolo got you to the NFC Championship 2 out of 3 years. The only reason why he didn't get you there 3 out of 3 years is because 2 seasons ago, they were so banged up and missing so many starters, there was no way they could make a deep run into the playoffs. So as long as you're healthy, Jimmy G can get you to the NFC Championship game and possibly back to the Super Bowl, considering one of those 2 years they went to the NFC Championship game, they did make it to the Super Bowl. So the next step in the evolution of Jimmy G is obviously to get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. Now that he's felt the pressure of NFC Championship games, of Super Bowl games, Jimmy G should pretty much be well-versed and ready to go. So that would be my take on it. But again, it looked like the 49ers were ready to move off of him. Now, It doesn't sound like they're too sure. And Sports Illustrated put out a very interesting article that I'm going to read to you right now where it says, Trey Lance is not good on game film. The article reads like this. Trey Lance did three things consistently well as the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. He ran the ball, he handed it off, and he completed short passes. That's it. That's what game film revealed against Seattle, who's 7-10, Arizona, who was 11-6, and Houston, who was 4-13 during the 2021 regular season. These are the three games Lance saw the bulk of his playing time. Now, the study of the game film is about identifying patterns and tendencies to develop a big picture evaluation. It excludes the one-offs, whether they end in a positive or a negative result. During these three games, Lance ran the ball 31 times at 5.19 yards per attempt, handed it off 48 times, and threw 27 short-range passes. That equates to Lance running, handing it off, or throwing a short pass 71% of the time, 106 out of 150 plays. That was Lance's comfort level in this offense, and the 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan's comfort level in play calling when Lance was in the game. Lance proved to be dangerously erratic when he was attempting to throw the ball further downfield into the intermediate to deep route ranges. Lance was extremely concerning in these four areas: intermediate route completion percentage, 50% accuracy, 15 of 30 completions in the intermediate route range. However, Lance did show steady improvement in this area incrementally against Seattle, 1 of 6, Arizona, 5 of 10, and Houston, 9 for 14. Keep in mind, we're talking about Arizona and Houston. Arizona, who was a team that fell apart in the end, and Houston, who was a dumpster fire from beginning to end. I wouldn't get too excited about what they're calling potential improvement. I just want to throw that out there. And keep in mind, I'm a 49ers fan. I am a 49ers fan. If Lance ends up being the starting quarterback, I am going to be forced to support this guy. But I do not believe he should be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, moving on with the story. The number two thing that was extremely concerning was ball placement at the intermediate route levels. Now, according to the story, Lance showed a tendency to deliver his passes either too high or too low at the intermediate route level. He delivered the ball too high 7 times and too low 6 times. That equates to 13 out of 30 throws. Passes delivered too high or too low can hinder receivers picking up additional yardage after the catch. The number 3 concern, deep accuracy. Lance was 33% accurate, 2 of 6 when throwing the deep ball. On the 2 touchdowns he completed to receiver Deebo Samuel against Seattle and Houston, Samuel had to noticeably wait on both passes. Ball protection. In these 3 games, opposing defenses touched his passing attempts 11 times. That works out to almost 4 times per game. The actual average is 3.66, but again, rounded up 4 times per game. Now, here is a detailed look at Lance's ball protection issues in these 3 games. San Francisco against Seattle. In the third quarter, with 9 minutes and 4 seconds, they say the pass got broken up downfield. In the fourth quarter, with 11 minutes, 20 seconds remaining, the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. In the fourth quarter, at 8 minutes and 52 seconds remaining, the pass was broken up and almost intercepted. Look, I can go on and on with this, but the bottom line is Lance struggled on a lot of things, including struggling on the ability to convert on third downs in these 3 games, going 9 of 31, which is 29%, but was better on fourth downs. He was 6 of 11 at 55%. San Francisco additionally had 8 holding penalties and 4 other offensive penalties during this time frame. Lance completed 57.7% of his passes in 2021, which ranks him number 32 in the league. Remember, there's 32 teams. So that is nothing to write home about. Again, I can go on and on. This story doesn't say anything to make Lance look like he is ready to be the starting quarterback in the NFL. And I've already said it. a bunch of times. I believe he's not ready. They should stay with Jimmy G. He's already in house. Why move him? All right, Deshaun Watson. Now, we all know about Deshaun Watson. We all know about the allegations. We all know, what we know. But here's something interesting. Excerpts from the depositions have been leaked. Let's talk a little bit about that. So here's the story. With no court order preventing all or part of deposition transcripts or videos in the Deshaun Watson civil litigation from being handed off to the media, it's fair to wonder whether more excerpts will be handed to the media. Recently, a portion of Watson's testimony was given to Fox 8 in Cleveland. The leak undoubtedly was made by lawyer Tony Busby, who represents the 22 women who have sued Watson. The obvious goal is to increase settlement pressures on Watson. The door swings both ways, potentially. At some point, Watson's legal team could disclose the full deposition transcripts from Watson. Likewise, Watson's camp could begin publicizing all or part of the transcripts or clips from the depositions of the 22 plaintiffs. That's a delicate area to be sure. If Watson's representation tries too hard to paint the accusers as unreliable or worse, there could be blowback in the court of public opinion. At some point, however, Watson may need to consider fighting fire with fire, especially if Busby plans to disseminate dribs and drabs of deposition clips in an effort to force Watson to dig deep in order to get these cases resolved. Now, let's move over to the next story where they talk about the actual clips that were released. The story reads, the Fox 8i team obtained video excerpts from some of the depositions Brown star quarterback Deshaun Watson gave as he answered questions relating to 22 lawsuits filed from women accusing him of sexual misconduct. The 22 women were strangers Watson met through social media. He said he reached out to them for massages. The Fox 8i team obtained excerpts of 2 of the depositions Monday. These 2 depositions deal with 2 of the women who filed lawsuits. Watson was asked if he sought out a massage from one of the women because he thought she was attractive. Watson replied, I can't answer that. I have a girlfriend, so that wasn't my intention. What kind of an answer is that? Seriously, what kind of an answer is that? He told the attorney who was asking him questions that he just wanted a massage. When asked if the woman was licensed or trained, Watson said he was not sure. Last week, the Browns introduced Watson as their new star quarterback. Watson stated at the press conference that he denies the allegations and it is not his intent to settle the suits. He said he wants to clear his name. The lawsuits were all filed in Texas when Watson played for the Texans. Watson was asked during the depositions if the Texans knew about his meetings with the women to get massages, and he said they did not. 2 grand juries have decided Watson should not face any criminal charges. His attorneys have told the I-team that Watson did not violate any criminal laws. In the deposition, Watson also faced questions about driving about 30 minutes out of town for a massage and bringing his own towel. The attorney asked if he thought that was a little bit weird. It is what it is, Watson said. In the new video, we've reached out once more to the Browns, Watson's lawyers, and the attorney representing the accusers for any new comment. Attorney Rusty Harden, one of the attorneys representing Watson, said they heard from the numerous massage therapists who also worked with Watson in the past and said he never did anything inappropriate. Harden had stressed that Watson did not violate any laws. Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. There is so much to unpack here. I know everybody has their thoughts. I post the video for those of you who listen to the podcast audibly. I post the video of the podcast on my Twitter page and on my Facebook page. At Yay or Nay Podcast is the address to the Facebook and the Twitter page. What I want is for you to go to the video cast if you're not already viewing this via video, and I want you to comment on what you think about the Deshaun Watson situation. And I want you especially to comment in regards to the excerpts and what you've heard be released so far in regards to the actual transcripts of the deposition. I want you to tell me what your thoughts are. I want you to tell me what you think. I'm very, very curious to know what you think. This, for me, sheds a lot of new light. I'm not going to say which way I'm leaning one way or the other here, but I will admittingly say that this is making me lean a certain direction without a doubt. Because I didn't know any of the details. I hadn't tried to research any of the details. I knew that eventually details would come out. I just wanted to wait for the details to come out. Now that they're starting to leak out, and I'm glad they are, it sheds a lot of light because I'm watching a lot of comments being said by a lot of people, and I don't think they either know very much about it, or for the people who are just flat out defending them, I think that it might be more of a fact that they just want him to play football and they don't want him to get in any trouble, so they're going to defend him, even though there might be evidence to the contrary. Because, again, when I look at all the comments that people have made in regards to this situation, I find it really, really, really interesting. TMZ also did a story on this as well, talking about the deposition that was leaked to the Fox 8 station in Cleveland. They had kind of an interesting take on it. Here, I'll just read you this little part. I thought this was really interesting. Again, this is the TMZ report. It says, to say Deshaun answered the questions may be a bit of a stretch. The Pro Bowl quarterback seemingly did a lot of dancing and dodging. That is what TMZ said about Deshaun Watson's responses to the questions that were leaked out in this deposition. I will go a little further if I can find them here really quickly. Let me see if they're still here. I guess not. I thought I had some of the responses to this story, but I seem to have lost that page. But the bottom line is I want you to go to, again, the video cast that I put up on the Facebook and the Twitter page. At Yay or Nay Podcast is the address to the Facebook page and the Twitter page. And I want you to go on there and I want you to comment. I want you to tell me your thoughts in regards to Deshaun Watson. Guilty, not guilty? What do you think about the transcripts being leaked? Right or wrong? Should they do it? Should they not do it? What do you think about the information that you have been able to read from the transcripts? Has it made you lean one way or the other in regards to how you feel about Deshaun Watson and the particular case that's going on? I just want to know what your thoughts are. And if you send in your thoughts, put your name down as well. I would love to read your name and your thoughts on one of the future podcasts. That's going to do it for today's show. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we will do it again tomorrow. This is Yay or Nay Show with Alex C.